Hello everyone and happy Halloween. Welcome back to the Chowdown. Today I have some healthy Halloween treats for you. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. And for our first recipe, we have one of my favorites, which is FRANKENGUAC. And for this recipe, I am cheating and I'm using store-bought guacamole, but you can certainly make your own if you prefer. And I'm spreading out my guacamole on this rectangle platter. I'm just smoothing it out into a rectangle shape, making sure I smooth out the edges. Next, I'm taking blue corn tortilla chips and placing them at the top of the guacamole and just placing them here to mimic Frankenstein's hair. And then I'm taking small dollops of sour cream and just rounding them out to make Frankenstein's eyes. And then I'm going to take refried beans and I'm going to place them in a plastic bag. And I'm just going to zip up the bag and then snip off a corner to use as my piping bag, and I'm going to pipe on Frankenstein's pupils, and I'm using this spoon here just to help me get the refried beans off of the bag because it is a little thick. Then I'm also going to do Frankenstein's mouth, and I'm just doing this squiggly mouth here. Again, I'm using my spoon to help guide my beans. And then I'm also going to do a scar, and I actually snipped off a smaller hole on the other side of the bag for this. And I'm just doing one long line and then 3 small lines across. And then for Frankenstein's nose, I'm using a black olive, and then I'm also using 2 more black olives for Frankenstein's bolts on the side of his face here. And that is it for Frankenstein. Look how cute he is. I think Frankenstein is my favorite Halloween character. Next up, I have these monster mouths, and these are super easy to make and really quick. And all you need for these are Granny Smith apples. And first I'm going to quarter these, and then I'm just going to cut off the core. And then I'm going to cut out my mouth out of the apple, so I'm just cutting out this little triangle and just shaping it down to what I like. And then I'm going to take some natural peanut butter and I'm going to fill in the mouth area. You want a good amount of peanut butter. Next, I'm taking slivered almonds and I'm pressing those into the apple. And these are the teeth of the monster. And I think this looks best when the almonds are all different sizes and lengths. It makes it look extra creepy. And then I'm going to take a strawberry and I'm just going to cut off the stem. And then I'm going to slice this lengthwise. And these slices of strawberries are going to be our tongues for our monsters. So you're just going to place it down on the bottom part of the mouth. And that is pretty much all you need to do for these. They're really easy and they're super healthy and yummy. For this next recipe, we have rotten deviled eggs, and this is definitely more of a time-consuming recipe, but first I'm going to hard boil my eggs, and I'll leave instructions on how to do this in the description box below. While my eggs are cooking, I'm just combining my food coloring. I'm using red, green, and blue to make this murky, gross kind of color, but you can also use black. After my eggs have cooked and cooled down, I'm just going to crack them to make all these little cracks, but you want to make sure that the shell is still intact on the eggs. But then you're just going to place your eggs in the plastic bag, and you're going to seal the bag, make sure it's sealed nice and tight, and you're just going to roll your eggs around really carefully and make sure every egg is coated in the food coloring. I'm using gloves here just to make sure I don't get any coloring on my hands, but of course I did anyway. But here I'm just going to put my eggs on a paper towel, and I'm going to pat them dry, and I'm going to let them dry for about 30 minutes before I peel them. But when you do peel them, you're going to get this really cool effect. It almost looks like a dinosaur egg. I don't really know how to explain, but it has this effect right here. I think it looks really cool. It gives it like this rotten, creepy Halloween effect, which is exactly what you want. Next, I'm just going to cut my eggs lengthwise and take out all of my yolks and put them in this bowl. And I'm just going to make my deviled egg mixture. I'm using 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, a tablespoon of brown mustard. I'm also adding a splash of Worcestershire sauce and a little bit of salt. And I'm just going to mash this up with a fork really well. You can use this recipe, but you can also just use whatever deviled egg recipe you like best. And then I'm going to add some green food coloring. And this is just going to give it even more of a rotten egg look. You could also use red. I think that would look pretty cool too. Give it like a bloodshot eye kind of look. But I'm just going to mix this up until it's really nice and well incorporated, and then I'm going to add it to a plastic bag. You could also use a piping bag with like a star tip. I think it would be like a nicer presentation than this, but I didn't have one on hand, so I'm just using a plastic bag. Snipped off the corner, and I'm just filling all of my eggs with this mixture, and I just think it looks really cool. It's perfect for a Halloween party or a Halloween potluck at work, and it's a nice protein-packed snack. And for our last recipe, we have these adorable fruit skewers. I'm going to start off with my melon, and I'm going to slice that in half. I'm going to scoop out the guts, and I'm going to take a melon baller, and I'm going to try and get these perfect circles, and these are going to be our jack-o'-lanterns. And then next I'm going to take a banana, and I'm going to peel that. I'm going to cut off the end pieces, and I'm going to cut these into 3 equal pieces, and that's going to be our ghosts. And then next I'm going to take the kiwi, and I'm going to cut off the ends, and I'm going to peel the skin off of the kiwi. And once this is peeled, I'm going to slice this in half lengthwise, and I'm going to take each piece and cut it into a perfect rectangle. And this is going to be our Frankenstein. Once all my fruit is prepped, I'm going to take a wooden skewer, and I'm going to skewer on my kiwi first, and then second I'm going to skewer on my banana, and lastly I'm going to skewer on the melon ball for the jack-o'-lantern. And this is what you're left with so far, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the other skewers. And guys, I want to know what everyone is being for Halloween, so let me know in the comments below what you're dressing up as and what your plans are for Halloween. Next, I'm going to remove any extra moisture from my fruit with a paper towel just to ensure that my chocolate will stick better. And here I have chocolate candy melts that I have melted in the microwave for about 20 seconds, and I'm adding that to a plastic bag and snipping off a very, very small hole in the corner of the bag. And I'm going to use this to pipe on my faces. So first I'm doing my jack-o'-lantern faces. I'm doing 2 small triangles for the eyes, a small triangle for the nose, and just a little squiggly line for its mouth. Next, I'm doing the ghost faces, and I'm just doing small ovals for the eyes and large ovals for the mouth. And this chocolate dries or hardens really quickly on the fruit. And then next I am doing Frankenstein's hair, just little squigglies across, 2 small eyes, and then a little sideways mouth with these stitches going through it. Again, this recipe is great for a Halloween party or a kid's party. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel for more recipe videos. And I hope everyone has a happy Halloween.